Derry creaking open, baby.
Yo, welcome to the screen where the plot gets bent. Julie B deep dives, not just for content. She don't react, she dissects those threads from the lens, catching clues y'all missed when the credits end. What you know about freeze framing frames and while you blinking, she building an evidence drum. Got a notebook thicker than the lore itself, and a chat full of nerds with a mental health shelf. Yeah, she sees the glitch, peep the double cross. You just watching TV, she talk to the boss. Every theory and thesis, no throwaway guess. While y'all on season 1, she in season 8. Said rewind and slow it, zoom in, enhance. Julie B caught the symbol in the window glance. While you tweeting what just happened like a clown, she already made a flow chart, color-coded breakdown.
They don't die like us, they don't vibe like us. They binge and they bounce, we revive that trust. They skip intros, we rev and frame. You watch shows, we decode the game. They don't die like us, nah, they don't die like us.
She cracked Severance before y'all knew it was deep. Predicted The Last of Us, depths in her sleep. When the camera pans, she ain't blinking once. Catch a ghost in the glass, call it theory punch. Watch parties lit like apocalypse nights. Call-ins while they bringing alien rights.
Hey, Julie, I think the trees are spies. Well, I have a spreadsheet that confirms that, guys.
Zoom in, boom in, she moving through clues. Spinning Discord in the courtrooms, Lord of views. Got mods with receipts. Time stands with heat. Every rewatch turns into a Reddit elite. You stuck on the surface, we beneath with maps. Cross-referencing lore with the rector's caps. If your fave show got secrets, don't be dumb. Julie got the chalkboard out in Frum's where it's from.
They don't dive like us, they don't vibe like us. They skim the edge, we inside that crust. They zone out, we zone into pain. You say plot twist, we say nope, chain. They don't dive like us, nah, they don't dive like us.
What's that?
That ain't a blooper, that's a plot thread. You thought it was a shadow? She thought it was a coded message from season 3. And she's probably right. Step this way if your mind's unbent. Step that way if your theories pay rent. Say Julie B, deep dive queen. Now zoom, scroll, theorize, pull. Ain't no rabbit hole safe once she got the cloud.
They don't die like us.
Hey there, it is Julie B Deep Dives back again for another Stranger Things deep dive. So 2 nights in a row, we're gonna jam this in as best we can. I wish we could have gotten it done sooner, but my pain has just not been tolerable for a long time, and so next thing I knew, we fell behind, and I just don't want to let any more time pass without breaking down the rest of Stranger Things chapters 1 through 4 before the next ones drop in a few days. So we're gonna power through this. We're gonna get through this. It's just too great of a show, so I've gotta fit this in wherever I can, and if that means going live at 1:25 a.m. Eastern, then well, that's what we're gonna do, because right now I just do what I can in terms of my pain management and my health, and this is a time when I happen to feel good enough to do it, so I have to jump on the opportunity. So with that being said, we're going to be breaking down chapter 3, which is the Turnbow Trap. It is quite an eventful episode. It has some. It's kind of fitting that we're close to Christmas, because it really had some strong Home Alone vibes. The trap that they set for the Demogorgon was very reminiscent of the Home Alone trap, the house full of booby traps. So I liked that. I felt like they took some inspiration from that for sure. I think it really it was extremely entertaining and unexpected. The direction that the season took so far, I didn't see it coming. It's definitely not predictable. This is not a predictable show, and I like that. It's fun to have theories that get proven right, and then there are shows where you don't really know where it's heading, but you just want to go along for the ride, and that's where I am with this show. I have my ideas and predictions about what's going to happen, or what's not going to happen, but it continues to surprise me in terms of major plot points, and I think that's great. I think it would be boring if you sit down and you're able to predict everything that happens on every TV show. And predictable is one thing that Stranger Things is definitely not. I think the plot really started to thicken more and more with this episode and the reveal of Max. Actually getting to see Max like conscious was awesome, even though it was only for a few seconds at the end of the episode. And of course we see a whole lot more of her further down the road. We're going to, I'm sure. But for now, we just got a little glimpse, and it was great to see. That was such an awesome reveal after seeing Max in a coma for all this time. Just what a way to end the episode, and also what a way for Netflix to make people want to press play on that next one. They did it again. They always end an episode with something shocking or some big cliffhanger that makes you want to press play on the next one. They do it every time. And they struck again with this one. And so let's see. So I'm going to jump right into the episode breakdown in a sec, but let's say hi to the folks who've been in the chat. Jen, the teacher, was here earlier saying delightful. Always nice to see Jen, and this may wind up being too late for her, but Jen, shout out to you if you do listen on the replay. I did have to postpone the start time of this live so that I could manage my pain before starting, but we're here. We're gonna get through it regardless of the time. I'm raring to go. And Christine Jellybean was here earlier. So hi to Christine Jellybean. Debbie was also here, and I'm sure we'll be listening on the replay at some point. So hi, Debbie. Thank you so much for being an amazing part of the replay gang, and shout out to everyone in the replay gang. I can't thank you enough for listening to these, even after they're not live anymore, especially since I have to go live at really late hours of the night when I know a lot of people can't join us. I thank you so much for still listening to even just part of it on the replay. I see those numbers going up, and I am very grateful for that. It happened again last night. We got more views after the live ended. So, because last night we broke down chapter 2 of season 5. So hope everybody is doing well tonight. Hi, Dieter, and good evening to you too, Doc. Doc said I needed this tonight. Oh well, I'm glad. I hope that everything is going okay with you and you're hanging in there. And I hope we can be a nice distraction for you from whatever is bringing you down right now.
We don't need our future overlord to be, sad. We want a happy ruler of the earth. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah. We need Doc to be happy. So hopefully we can cheer you up if you're feeling down. And let's see here.
Did you already say hi to Undos Trace?
Not yet. Hey Kelly, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hey Trace, nice to see you. Hope everybody is having a great Saturday, wherever you are. and enjoying your weekend and the rest of your Christmas season if you celebrate. Just a few more days, and I should be doing more Christmassy stuff right now, probably, instead of breaking down Stranger Things, but Netflix decided to make it Stranger Things season instead of the Christmas season this year. So what are we going to do? I mean, they dropped episodes 1 through 4 right before Thanksgiving weekend, and then we get 3 more episodes on Christmas this week, and then the big series finale extravaganza on New Year's Eve. So say goodbye to your holiday season. It's Stranger Things season this year. It's like, I guess that's the confidence that they have in this show being such a juggernaut, such a hit. They're that confident that people will leave their, take time away from their holiday celebrations and their holiday specials to, binge some Stranger Things. And, I think they're right to be confident about it, because this show is a massive hit. So it's very clever marketing, especially when you consider how much merchandise they've put out to support this season, and how
there's gorgonzolas everywhere, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean demogorgons, yes, and like it's very clever when you think about it, because I mean, how many Stranger Things fans do you think are going to be getting Christmas gifts with this new Stranger Things merch? I mean, come on, it's genius, really. There's Stranger Things shit everywhere. There's Stranger Things pizza. There's Stranger Things toys everywhere you look. There's Stranger Things Doritos. Like, it is amazing, the merchandising campaign.
Wait, you saw burritos and you didn't show them to me?
The Doritos, not
either way. Did you just call me fat right now?
No. No, you've got burritos on the brain, though. No, but it's really genius what Netflix did with this, timing this with the holiday season and all the merchandising that they're doing for this show. Brilliant. Anyway, so let's just jump right into the breakdown of the Turnbow Trap. So, because I've got to make this an earlier night, a shorter stream tonight, for self-care reasons, and just got a lot going on. It's a busy time right now. So let's dive in right off the bat here. Not waste any time. So we start the episode with Hopper and 11 attacking this giant mysterious flesh wall, this oozing flesh wall. And Hopper's stabbing it. 11 is using her telekinetic powers to try to, open a hole in it. And, at first she seems to be having some success, just tearing into it a little bit. But it doesn't last long. She's using all her strength, and then it just closes up again. So what this is it's still a mystery. I mean, it is one hell of a barrier, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know where it came from, because we never saw this in the Upside Down in previous seasons. This was not here. This is something new. So where did it come from? Who made it? That's anybody's guess right now. I don't think it was the government's doing. I think it had to be something supernatural. The military has a base in the Upside Down now, but I highly doubt that they could construct something like this. This is definitely done by Vecna, I would think.
Vecna Construction Incorporated, huh?
Yeah, I would say it has to be. It has to be Vecna. So.
Want some? In a little bowl?
Somewhat.
Grapes.
No. So anyway, 11 is convinced that, she can break through if she just powers up her battery with more food. As she calls it, it's her battery just needs to be recharged.
More Eggos?
Yeah, that would be her favorite. But yeah, Hopper's not buying it that she can actually do this. This is way too much, and they don't even know if Holly is on the other side of it. Even though the trail has gone cold around this area as they try to search for her. Then they have the military show up here, and they've got this new doohickey that it seems to be 11's kryptonite. It looks kind of like a satellite dish that they point in a straight direction towards her, and it's like it practically makes her head about to explode. It causes like a lot of pain, seemingly an enormous amount of pain and debilitation, and she just kind of freezes when this thing is deployed. So this is new.
I think it's like a PMS machine.
I don't know what
cramps.
I don't know what it is, but this is definitely a serious danger to 11 anytime it's around, and it basically neutralizes her abilities. So how the hell did they come up with this is what I wonder. How exactly this is where we've got to suspend our disbelief, because how would the military know how to create something that could actually neutralize the powers of this telekinetic young girl? That doesn't make sense to me. But it's television. They can just make this shit up, and we've got to go along with it.
Television.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Joyce finally finds Will after he played hooky with Robin. The two
Fucking Robin to you.
Yeah, and the two of them used him like an antenna, trying to tap into where Vecna is and spy on him, tapping into the hive mind. And he shares with his mom that Holly was just the beginning. That there are going to be more kids taken by Vecna. They don't know what he wants to do with them, but now they know something that they can use against him. They figured out who his next target is going to be. Derek Turnbow. That's going to be his next target. And there he is, this little shit, Derek Turnbow. He's this little asshole. He's new to the cast this season. He bullies Holly, and we see that Mr. Whatsit, aka Henry, has been stalking him too, and in very creepy fashion. And nobody can see him but Derek, just like when he was stalking Holly. So he can just literally stand there like a creeper in his classroom, smiling at him, and no one else can see. So then we have a scene with Henry in this weird dream state kind of place, that looks like his old house, with Holly. And really where they are is in the recesses of Vecna's mind. This is not real, obviously. This is not a real place anymore. Henry doesn't actually look like that anymore. This is Holly. This is going to be Holly, hallucinating all this in a way. Her body is in the upside down somewhere, we can only imagine. And in her, and within the upside down, her mind is kind of trapped inside Vecna's mind. Her consciousness is in Vecna's mind. And inside of there, she's in his memories. She's in his memory of his house and his memory of what he looked like. He can even project himself as he used to look to her and talk to her in there. It's a real mind fuck. Yeah, it's a real mind fuck. And as I was watching it for the first time, I was very confused by it. And obviously it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We don't really know how this works, but after watching it a second time, I can kind of wrap my head around it a bit more. Basically, yeah, Henry, none of this is real, and Vecna is projecting himself as Henry, as a vision to talk to Holly in this kind of dream state within his own mind. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to even explain, but yeah, it's a really interesting and unexpected twist this season where they're going with this. The way that Vecna can capture kids and place them into this dream state within his own mind. I mean, their bodies in the upside down, but their consciousness is trapped in Vecna's mind and inside of his memories. Now, if there were some way that they could take control of the situation, and if they could somehow turn this against him, I wonder, is there some way that they could, since they're in his head, use this against him?
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3? Dream Warriors?
Yeah, something like that. And turn the tables on him and mess with his mind. I wonder if there's some way that they could do that. The kids who get trapped in here. Because we have Holly in here, and we know that Max is trapped in here too. Now Henry appears to Holly in this weird dream state, and they have breakfast together. She's thinking about her parents and sad because she knows that they were seriously injured by the Demogorgon. He promises that they're in the best possible hands, and he somehow knows that they're improving with each hour that passes. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. He could just be lying. He says as soon as they're healed, they'll join us there. Now that I do think is a lie for sure. I don't think he has any plans to bring Holly's parents in there. I don't think he has any plans to bring Holly's parents there. I think this is only going to be for children. And he feeds her a bunch of bullshit about how she can't comfort them in Hawkins. The only comfort they have is knowing that she's here safe. That's just a load of bullshit. They don't know any such thing. They don't know where she is. They don't think she's safe. She's missing. She was taken by a monster. So yeah, this is just nonsense. The only comfort they have is knowing you are here safe with me, safe from the monsters, as he says. It's dumb.
Yeah, a bit of an overstatement.
Yeah, she was literally abducted by a monster. Her parents have no such concept of her being safe in any capacity.
I mean, did he text them or something? He called them on AT&T.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. So he since he can get inside his victims' heads, he knows what her favorite things are. So he cheers her up with some of her favorite foods, and he calls it just a hunch. He doesn't admit that he can literally get into her head. And he says that he's going to bring Derek there next. He tells her that if Derek misbehaves or hurts her in any way, he'll send him right back, and he can just face the monsters on his own, because he knows Derek has been a bully to her. Then he says he's going to be gone most of the day and leaves her to her own devices. He says that she has the whole place to herself, and everything which is mine is yours. Well, that's not really much, considering none of this is actually real. So he's not really doing that much for her. But he needs her to promise that she'll never, under any circumstances, go out into the woods, which is interesting. So Why is that? So definitely Vecna has a weakness here. He doesn't want her going out into the woods. I don't think it's for her protection at all. This is some weakness of his causing him to say that. And I think by the end of the episode, we can figure out why. I don't think he wants her to find Max, who's out there in the woods. And Max is somewhere where he can't get to her. And if Holly finds Max, he knows that they can team up together against him. And that's what he doesn't want. So that's what I think that's about. Max is going to find some way to turn this against him, this dream state inside Vecna's head. And with Holly's help, she can really do some damage, I think. They'll join forces. So that's why he's trying to get her not to venture out there. And he tells her it's because that's where the monsters live, and they won't find you as long as you don't try to find them, which is more bullshit. And he tells her he's glad he saved her first because she's the brightest of them all.
You got 3 sandwiches in there.
So, anyway, I don't think she's particularly bright because she's buying all this nonsense and doesn't see what a creep he is. So I would have to disagree with him. He asks her to bring in his mail and oh, look at that. It's a Tiffany cassette tape and a cute little cassette boombox for her to play it on. Her favorite singer, I'm sure. She certainly loves yours? It. Can't say that she is. So, yeah, she's very happy with that. As she goes into the house, we get the sense that someone is watching her. Someone or something.
Somebody's watching me.
Through the bushes. And you get that POV shot, that classic POV shot that shows someone is watching her. And she feels it, too. She senses it because she looks back and looks uneasy about it. She grabs onto her necklace, and it's like a kind of security thing for her, it seems. And then there's another shot as she goes in the house of someone or something watching her through the bushes. Ominous. Then back in the Upside Down, in the aftermath of the military are showing up, and in the aftermath of them firing off that kryptonite-like device, it's basically 11's kryptonite. I think it's maybe some type of radio wave or electromagnetic wave that they're sending out at her that affects her in a terrible way. She's collapsed, and Hopper has to try to take on these guys who've shown up on his own for now. They realize someone's been there because they find a knife. And then, they start to open fire. Hopper, of course, dives on 11 and protects her from the bullets. This is a really cool shot. The bullets just flying through this old billboard, which says Turnbow, and it just so happens to say Turnbow Development and Realty on it. So, as in Derek Turnbow. I'm sorry if there's rustling noises. Hopefully it's not too loud. There's a lot of rustling going on. You just
call me fat right now?
Oh, there's some groceries being put away at the moment.
Sorry guys, real life. Sorry.
So this is Derek Turnbow's family company. They're filthy rich, and this is an old billboard advertising their company, but the upside down version of it. A little shout out to Vecna's next target and the title of this episode. But yeah, then so 11 is still, as she's still incapacitated. Hopper grabs some grenades and throws them over his head, over the billboard. And that does the job nicely. They explode, blast these military officers, and enable him to get the upper hand over them, even though he's greatly outnumbered. And then, and then 11 is able to recover because they stop sending out their kryptonite ray, so to speak. She helps him finish killing off these guys. They basically massacre these guys, and that's the end of that. I mean, they kind of had no choice, though. I mean, these guys, it was them or these officers. Like, they would have killed Hopper and captured 11. So they had to do what they had to do. And then back in Hawkins, we've got a big chunk of the group here meeting up at the Squawk, the radio station, and basically Will debriefs everybody on what he learned and how Derek Turnbow is going to be Vecna's next victim, and they need to come up with a plan on how to save him. He explains that when he's close enough to the hive mind, he's realized that he can tap into Vecna's mind and see who he's targeting. First, he saw through Holly's eyes the day that she was taken. And this morning, he says it happened again. He saw through someone else's eyes. He's sure that it was Derek. He could hear Derek's asshole voice, taunting another kid. And he's certain it was Derek. So, oh my God. So he realizes, he was seeing through both Vecna's eyes and Derek's eyes, as he explains. And it's like he was Vecna.
Vecna vision, remember? Vecna vision.
Vecna vision. Inside Derek's mind, he had that Vecna vision. So in essence, like they say, Vecna's like a psychic serial killer who stalks his victims by invading their minds. He did it with Chrissy. He did it with Max. Now he's doing it in a bit of a different way. And because before he took Holly, Vecna stalked her, appearing not as Vecna, but as Henry.
He's a stalker.
Like a friend, trying to earn her trust. And they don't know why he went to all that trouble this time. He's changed his tactics. But he has to have some kind of reason for it. And all they know is that they have to stop him, whatever that reason may be, obviously. So they devise a plan. They're gonna wait in a van. I think this is a really insane plan. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. They're breaking so many laws, and we've got to just suspend our disbelief, because the odds of them getting away with this are just ridiculous. They're under military occupation right now, and so you've got your way more than your average police presence, and they're going to abduct Derek and his whole family. It's pretty nuts.
Not a great plan.
They plan on abducting Derek and taking him to an isolated farm, to make sure that he doesn't see them or know where he is. They've got to blindfold him, because that way Vecna won't be able to find him. He can't see where he is, because Vecna will be able to see through Derek's eyes, and be able to find him if he knows where he is. And even Joyce here is on board with this kidnapping plan, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, again, it's TV, so suspension of disbelief activated. But they also have to. They're also trying to figure out like, okay, how else can they combat what all the other issues they have going on here though. The Holly is still missing. Hopper and 11 are still MIA. They're not any closer to finding Vecna, and so abducting Derek would just buy them and Derek more time. But then Mike has a really brilliant plan to find Holly and save Derek and possibly lead them to Vecna at the same time. So he comes up with a plan to find someone who the Turnbow family trusts to gain access to the house, drug the family, and then they'll extract the whole family from the house, abduct everybody, the parents and the kids, and then Vecna will send his Demogorgons to find Derek, but instead, all of these kids, not kids anymore, but they'll be lying in wait in a Home Alone style booby trap filled house. I thought that was a pretty wild plan, and it's kind of ridiculous, but
very Scooby-Doo-ish.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very reminiscent of Home Alone, and I enjoyed that. But yeah, they're breaking so many laws, they're taking so many risks doing this. They do have plenty of supplies to set traps, thanks to Murray bringing in all kinds of contraband on his grocery truck. And they plan on burning the Demogorgon and sending him home to Vecna empty-handed, and sticking him with a tracker, the same kind of tracker that they used to track Hopper, hoping that the Demogorgon will lead them back to Vecna's lair. It's pretty, and to Holly, hopefully. And so again, it's a pretty great plan. It's very far-fetched, cartoonish even, but it's a pretty brilliant plan nonetheless. So meanwhile, naive, dumb little Holly is just enjoying herself in this dream world house in Vecna's mind, watching TV, eating junk food, baking a cake, trying on beautiful dresses like that Vecna's just left for her. Like,
I know that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, it looks like a little girl's dream. Honestly, it looks like a lot of fun. This one that she settled on and wound up wearing is very reminiscent of Alice in Wonderland's dress from the Disney adaptation, which I don't think is an accident. I think we're supposed to draw a parallel to Alice going down the rabbit hole, where Holly is right now. It's like she's gone down a rabbit hole to this place. So she's just enjoying her Tiffany music, and then she does come across some of Henry's stuff from when he was a kid. There's a picture of him and his family, and she's oddly drawn to his Boy Scout uniform, which she sees in a picture, and then she finds it in an old chest and grabs the red sash and puts it around her own neck, which is interesting. It's an odd juxtaposition with this girly Alice in Wonderland looking dress that she's got on. And I wonder what the reason for that is. Why the writers made this choice exactly to have her do that. Maybe to show that she's not just she's not going to be as naive as it might appear at first. She's not just taking the stuff that Vecna has left for her, all this girly stuff. She's rifling through his stuff from his memory of childhood and putting on his Boy Scout sash and going off to explore later in an area where he told her not to go. So kind of, I think that's probably why, she's drawn to that. She's not going to just fall for his, his machinations that easily as he thinks. And there's a knock at the door, and she finds nobody there, but there's a note in the mailbox, and it says, "Holly, I need your help. Meet me at the X. Please hurry. Henry." And when she opens the piece of paper, there's a hand-drawn map through the woods. Shows a playground, a fallen tree, and continue through the woods and end up at a rock wall. So interesting. So plot twist there. Now we know from the end of the episode who sent that. I mean, who must have left that. It was Max leading her there. Now why Max couldn't just stay there and guide her there herself, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was not Henry, because Henry didn't want her to leave the house and go into the woods. Now in the Upside Down, some military reinforcements came in and found the aftermath of the slaughter that Hopper and 11 committed on those soldiers who were attacking them. And they're obviously extremely pissed. So they want to find out who is responsible for this massacre. And meanwhile, Hopper and 11 discuss how it seems like the military has found some kind of kryptonite for her. They've also captured a soldier and start to interrogate him. 11 thinks maybe he might know what that wall is or how to get through it. And Hopper is more focused on, the something a little easier to intel that's a little easier to obtain, and more practical, like the schedule for the next supply convoy, which would be their way out of there, so they can hitch a ride on that. He wants to just find that out, go back, tell everybody what they saw, and make a new plan. But she's thinking bigger, and Hopper is being more realistic, though, because this soldier has been trained to resist interrogation. He doesn't think that 11 is going to be able to break him that easily. He thinks that he can get convoy information out of him, but not classified information.
Maybe put your leg down just for a moment.
So yeah, 11 and she says, let's compromise. You can have 20 minutes. You take 20 minutes to get your information, and then I'll get my information after. And she refers to this cute little line from a previous season: compromise, COM, promise, meaning halfway happy, as he described it to her. She's still so odd in the way she communicates, even after all these years, like I was saying last night. Yeah, so that was a cute little callback to one of their season 2 lines, I think. Now, this was a cool little science lesson thrown in here, and I think that it's definitely got to contain some clues about how things are going to play out this season, and this has got to be relevant. because the science teacher is talking about the Einstein-Rosen bridge. And he talks about how Einstein-Rosen bridges, more commonly known as wormholes, are often depicted in an hourglass-like shape, such as this, and he shows this, which is the now he says, while the existence of wormholes is entirely theoretical, they have captured the fascination of scientists and science fiction writers alike. And what's so special about that? Erica, who's in the class, and she's the only one who's really paying attention, says it's because they allow matter to travel between galaxies or dimensions without crossing the space between. Now, the teacher says, just think of all the places mankind could go. They could go to another galaxy or another time, even. This is where I think this is gonna come into play this season. We've had a lot of hints that there's going to be some kind of time manipulation this season. So I think that we're going to be dealing with some sort of wormhole to another time this season, and hopefully it won't screw things up too much by introducing some sort of messy time travel. But when you combine this reference with the Easter egg of having Holly read A Wrinkle in Time book, and then you have Vecna, who's always been associated with clocks chiming and his fascination with time, and we've seen people be able to kind of go back in time via visiting memories, like 11 visiting Billy's memories in season 3, and in this season, we have similar things that are going to be going on with visiting, like for example, Holly visiting the memory of Henry's house right now in his mind, in Vecna's mind. So I definitely think all of these references to time that we've been seeing are not a coincidence, and this is going to be relevant. There's going to be some sort of wormhole situation where they can travel to another time. Now, the teacher says that if wormholes did exist, though, they would be extraordinarily unstable. Their enormous gravitational force would rip them apart at the very moment they formed. So that's another little warning, too, like to keep in mind. This is going to be extremely dangerous and unstable for them if this actually becomes a plot point in the show. So that, I believe, is some foreshadowing for sure. Now, Lucas pulls Erica out of class to tell her at this point that things went bad at the crawl, and now they think that her ex-friend, Tina's brother, Derek, is in trouble. Now, Erica doesn't give a shit, but he wants her to make plans to hang out with Tina, get in there, and basically drug the whole family so that they can abduct them. She doesn't want to do it at first until they tell her that Vecna took Holly, and it's really about saving her. And now he's after Derek, and this plan will save both Derek and Holly. So she's on board. She's on board at that point. Now, over at the hospital, you have this component of the plan coming into fruition with Robin and Will, who are spending a lot of time together this season, apparently, procuring the drugs to drug the family. Can't say I expected this kind of plot line would come up this season, where everyone comes together to drug an entire family and abduct them. It's kind of zany and comedic. Not just dramatic, but there's a kooky quality to it. So yeah, they go and they steal a bunch of benzos in a nutshell. No need to really go into the particulars of how, but they do. And there's a little conversation about how Robin is going to have to stand up her girlfriend Vicky again to do this plan, and she can't tell her why. She's got to ditch her, and she can't tell her because, you know, it's top secret stuff with this group. So, but personally, I don't know. I don't really care that much. I don't remember this character Vicky if she's ever shown up before, and so like I don't know. I just think it's an unnecessary subplot. I'm fine with just not focusing on it. So hopefully they won't waste a lot of airtime with romantic subplots that are brand new. Like they can, you know, go ahead and play out this Nancy, Steve, Jonathan triangle that's been going on since the beginning, but introducing some new, like, little love side storyline is just, I don't know. I don't care. We have more important things to address this season, but that's me. And then this group is procuring the rest of the supplies that they need for the plan from Murray, who has a bunch of acetone, snare wire, a CPR dummy that they're gonna actually use too, shotgun shells. He's even got grenade-shaped water balloons, lots of barbed wire, spark plugs. He's missing some of the stuff that they did ask for. But I loved his reaction when Dustin is like annoyed that some of this stuff is missing. He's Murray is hilarious. He's like, Santa Murray scrounged all this up in a single afternoon and smuggled it into what is likely the most heavily secured location outside of the White House, Fort Knox, and Area 51. The fact that, you know, the fact that Santa Murray did this is a goddamn Christmas miracle. So count your blessings, hang some mistletoe, pucker up, and kiss my jolly ass. I loved that line. That was hysterical. That was peak Murray. Love it, love it. I think he's one of my favorite characters. I've always loved Murray. I'm so glad that he's survived up to this point. They didn't kill him off. And he's right. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. He's already performing miracles, getting them all this stuff that he is getting. Now they're trying to, in order to like track the Demogorgon that they're planning on tracking, they feel like they need to make the van lighter. It's not fast enough. It's too weighted down with stuff. So as Steve is trying to do that, Dustin thinks that's not going to be good enough. So he takes a drill and he literally drills a hole in the top of Steve's precious car to put their telemetry tracker into it. The nerve of this kid. I mean, as if they weren't already fighting enough as it is. That's not making Steve happy. Drilling into the roof of his car. Poor Steve. He is the perennial babysitter, and the stuff that he puts up with from these kids, he's nothing short of a saint at this point, and he better not die. I really don't want to see him go. Like he's probably, I mean, I wouldn't say he's my favorite character on the show, but he's up there. Hopper is my favorite, but Steve is up there for sure. And then before Murray leaves, he's questioning why Nancy is loading his telemetry tracker into a shotgun shell. He thinks that it's crazy that she's thinking of firing it into an interdimensional being, meaning the Demogorgon. And if the heat from he thinks that the heat from the gunpowder will destroy the transmitter, or the force from the recoil. And she says, well, we'll see. You know, she thinks that's just a theory. So, and then Murray plays matchmaker, as always, between Jonathan and Nancy, and questions why he hasn't proposed to her yet. Jonathan's been worried about his mating competition making moves, as in Steve. And so he needs to do something about it already. So Nancy then demonstrates that she can, in fact, shoot a bag full of hay with a telemetry tracker in it without the thing exploding, without it being destroyed. So she demonstrates that it can actually work, and so that plan is a go. And then we see Jonathan kind of open up the cassette tape that Murray had given him and look at the engagement ring that he still hasn't had the guts to give Nancy. If he doesn't do something, he might lose her. He's taking too damn long to make a move already. And I just don't think he's worthy at this point. Steve has always been the better man. So, yeah, it's, I wouldn't be sorry to see Jonathan go, frankly. Now, let me just check in with you guys real quick before I continue. We're breezing through this episode pretty quick, actually. Doc said I can tell you all about navigating a giant worm's hole. Yeah, I bet you can. I mean, you're definitely an extraterrestrial, so you would probably know. Bring a nose plug. Hey, Bill. Nice to see you, Bill Chill. Doc said Murray is kind of over the top, but has grown on me. Yeah, me too. I've always liked Murray from day one. I think he's hilarious. Okay, so moving on, we have Hopper interrogating this soldier and trying to get information about the big fleshy wall. The guy doesn't know anything about it. He says he's just a grunt. And Hopper challenges him on that, saying that he used to be a grunt, so he knows the difference. He's like, no, you're something else. You're some kind of special forces puke. I used to have to put up with guys like you in Vietnam. Guys who cut off the ears of enemy corpses, make a necklace out of them. He said, grunt my ass, you're one of Sullivan's attack dogs. You're the psychos who he lets slip off the leash when he wants to. I don't know, go into the desert and massacre a group of unarmed scientists all in the pursuit of one little girl. And of course, he's referring to what happened in season 4, where a bunch of soldiers swooped in and did massacre a bunch of scientists trying to get to 11. And he counters that 11 is a freak who took down a helicopter just by looking at it, which indeed she did in self-defense, of course. And yeah, then Hopper tells him, look, those guys I killed, I'd kill them 100 times over. I'd kill 1,000 guys like you to protect the one person that I love, which was such a powerful statement. I loved that. That was badass. That's the essence of who Hopper is. Why I love this character. I've always loved this character. He's definitely my favorite on the show. And I love how fiercely protective he is of 11. And yeah, he means business. He is serious. It's got the guy quaking here. So he's like, okay, so he figures out, okay, this guy really doesn't know anything about the flesh wall, but he asks him if Dr. K knows, the one that even that guy Sullivan takes orders from. Once again, he plays dumb, but Hopper says that little girl you're looking for has been rooting around in that tiny brain of yours as we speak, and you told her that this woman's name is Dr. K. And 11 can see everything that he's ever thought, everything he's ever seen, so he better start talking. So 11's powers, where she, when she can go into the void, they've really heightened with each season. What she can do is really remarkable. She used to have to float in a bathtub with massive amounts of salt to be able to do this, to be able to project herself into the void and see things using these psychic abilities. But now, I mean, she's so powerful and she's honed this ability so well that she can just sit there with a blindfold on anywhere and bore into somebody's mind in the deep recesses of their memories in a very painful way, I might add. So it's really cool to watch how her powers have evolved. And Hopper warns this guy that she'll find the answers if he doesn't provide them, and it's not going to be pleasant, basically. So he wants to know where Dr. K is, and she kind of bores into his memories, and she sees a vision of where Dr. K is. That there's a military base in the Upside Down on Gable Ridge Road. So again, this is very far-fetched. Like, how the hell did the U.S. military establish a base in the Upside Down where Vecna lives? How did Vecna, this godlike creature, allow the military to establish a base there? And the military, they don't know how to fight Demogorgons. So I find this to be a bit of a weakness this season, trying to understand how this is even possible for the military to have a base in the Upside Down. I think it's pretty far-fetched. We haven't seen anything in previous seasons to explain or justify how the military could suddenly be able to do this. And, like, it feels like we skipped a bunch of steps to see how this became possible at all. But it's still a superb show. I just have my critiques about it and my gripes about believability in some areas. So he asks the guy what this meeting was about between him and Dr. K, and he admits that Dr. K wants the freak, meaning 11. That's her mission. That's all he knows. Meanwhile, 11 in his head sees Dr. K saying, "You have one more month. Then I find someone else to lead this operation." And there's this creature that they have imprisoned in some, in some case. And then 11 sees a door at the end of a long hallway, a big metal door, like a vault. And Hopper asks the guy what's behind the door. He says he doesn't know. 11 says there's something back there he doesn't want me to see. And the guy is like, secret shit, I don't know. He really doesn't seem to know. He doesn't know if it has something to do with the wall or anything. And there's some really cool shots of 11, inside this guy's psyche looking at this, and the lights turning red. I love the red color palette, of the dark, shadowy areas with red when they're in upside down related spaces. It's always so cool. Aesthetically pleasing. 11 tries to kind of bore her way through the door with her powers and see what's behind there. But, and like, she literally like tries to blast it open in the guy's mind. And it almost looks like it works, but she still isn't able to see what's behind it. Hopper goes and checks on her and makes sure she's okay. And 11 is able to ascertain from that is that there's her version of kryptonite is behind that door. She heard it louder than before. So the doctor is keeping someone there who's powerful like her. And she thinks that she takes this huge leap saying that it has to be that the military have Vecna back there. And I immediately was like, no way in hell when I saw that. I was like, no way, absolutely not. It just doesn't make sense to me. Vecna is this godlike being. There is no way that the military had him prisoner there. especially with him running amok, still abducting kids. I just wasn't buying it, and I'll leave it at that. I won't I won't like discuss what happens in the next episode. Just leave it at that for now. But as I watched this, I just was not buying it that they have Vecna. And I mean, yeah, it would be way too easy. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, Doc said, Julie, I am aghast. With that wig, who will date Jonathan if not Nancy? Nobody. Nobody. He'll be forever alone, I'm afraid. Please hit the like button if you haven't already and help people find the stream. We got 17 likes. It would be much appreciated. And yeah, I need all the help I can get trying to get into the algorithm. So if you could please do that and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But moving on. Back in this weird dream state in Vecna's head, Holly is debating whether or not to actually go into the woods per the note. Because it doesn't make sense. Henry said never to go into the woods, ever. But the note said it was from Henry, asking her to go there. She ultimately decides to do it, and she puts on a little cloak, just like something out of a fairy tale. Now she looks like Alice in Wonderland plus like Little Red Riding Hood combined or something, except it's a little brown Riding Hood. Really, really cool fairy tale looking aesthetic. I liked that a lot. And she ventures outside and starts to make her way. And of course, then we have the enacting of the Turnbow Trap plan with Erica showing up with the drugged pie for the Turnbow family, lying and saying that she's sorry for what happened between her and her friend. They all sit down and have dinner, and the conversation that takes place there is not really important, so I'll skip ahead and just skip to the drugged pie. Basically, they all, just long story short, they all ingest the drugged pie and pass out, except for her friend here who didn't eat her pie, and badass Erica, in a moment that I think became a meme from what I've seen. She's like, I told you to eat your damn pie, and she just holds up a syringe full of drugs. Just, okay, if you're not going to eat your damn pie, then I'm going to drug you another way. Her friend screams, and that's that. So yeah, the zany plan is underway. They abduct the Turnbow family, and then the crew here, they all start creating the booby traps for the whole house. Drilling stuff into boards, cutting a big hole in the living room floor, which they do way too easily, I might add. I think they should have needed power tools for this, but somehow they drill a big hole. They cut a big hole in the living room floor. They fill up water balloons, which is just a silly, whimsical thing. Obviously, that's not going to be much help against a Demogorgon, but this show wouldn't be Stranger Things without some whimsical, light-hearted humor and some childishness. So I'm glad that the show is still incorporating this, even when it seems at this stage to be a bit unrealistic. They're not little kids anymore, and the stakes have ramped up a whole lot since season 1. They're in all-out war at this point. But yeah, more booby traps being set up here, and they find a bunch of weapons, pickaxes, a chainsaw, a regular axe, in the garage, and and the barbed wire, they get that going, and they just wait for the Demogorgon. So Will and his mom also make up, which was a nice little scene. They had words earlier in the episode, and so it's nice. They've always been really close, and he apologizes for talking to her in such a nasty way earlier, and she apologizes too, and just explains that she thinks about the night that he was abducted all the time. And I think this is important that she addresses this, honestly. This is kind of an elephant in the room that's never really been talked about. What a shitty mother she was at the time when Will was abducted in season 1. She says that the night it came for you, I wasn't even home. My shift ran late. When I finally do get home, what do? I smoke cigarettes, drink cheap wine, and watch Cheers reruns until I pass out. I didn't know you were missing for 8 hours. I mean, that's pretty shitty. That's pretty bad. So it's good that she's aware of this and that she's making it right. And she's become an amazing mother ever since. She's been overprotective ever since. It was a wake-up call for her. So I think she was just deeply depressed at the time and really stressed as a single mom with all of this on her shoulders, and a lousy deadbeat dad of her kids who wasn't present. And she's come a long way since then, and she's an amazing character too. I think Hopper's probably my favorite character, and Joyce would be my number 2 after him. I've always loved Joyce. And her kookiness, her quirkiness, how loopy she is. She seems drunk all the time, even when she's not. She's right. I mean, what kind of mother doesn't check on their 11-year-old boy? She didn't know he was missing for 8 hours. So, but she's more than made up for that since then. She's been a super mom. She tells him, she's not going to look away from him, not until this is over and he's safe. And he's like, you don't have to look away. I just need you to trust me. She says she does trust him. And so it's a sweet little heart-to-heart moment. And as the series is coming to an end soon, it's cool to see conversations like this. We had a heart-to-heart between Hopper and Eleven, a heart-to-heart between Joyce and Will, kind of talking about their relationships with each other and how much they mean to each other, going back to the beginning. You really feel the weight of this being the final season with conversations like this. And I think that's really well done on the part of this show. But, is it a little unrealistic sometimes when we have dangerous situations unfolding and they're having these sweet little subdued heart-to-hearts? Yeah. I mean, they're in the middle of kidnapping a whole family, for God's sake. But if not now, when? They only have 8 episodes. Why? I don't know. It's dumb. They should have more. But, if not now, when? They have to have these kinds of series-ending heart-to-hearts sometime, and there isn't much of a break in the action. There's way too much exciting action going on, so they just have to kind of, shoehorn this stuff in, even when they really shouldn't be taking even a breath to have any kind of sentimental talk. Now, then at that point, you have the Demogorgon showing up, and everybody kind of gets into position and gets ready. The thing bursts through the ceiling, just like it did with Holly, looking for Derek. It parades around Derek's room. And once again, got its big dinosaur-looking feet on display here, which I find comical. and it's looking around, and instead of Derek in the bed, it finds the CPR dummy. It finds the CPR dummy, which is, again, very humorous. I'm really glad that with all the high stakes and amped up action this season, that the show hasn't forgotten humor. It hasn't forgotten how to be funny. And seeing this giant monster scooping up a CPR dummy and looking all confused that it's not Derek, it was definitely amusing. This whole thing was amusing and very much reminiscent of Home Alone, which is such a beloved movie for a lot of us. For whom the target audience this show is. Home Alone came out in like 1990, I think, not long after the time in which this show is set. So, a lot of people watching this show, feel some nostalgia for this period of time, and Home Alone is kind of in that general time frame. So, yeah, I don't think it's an accident that there are parallels here between the way they executed this booby-trapped house plan. This shot cracked me up. The Demogorgon looking at the dummy, like, and it doesn't have a face to look really confused, but you could tell it was confused. You don't even know if it has eyes, but it's holding it up as if it's looking at it. And then, like, Lucas just shows up and starts pelting it with water balloons. Again, another lighthearted moment, as if that's going to do anything. And if the show wanted to be truly dramatic and realistic, then this thing would have just slaughtered Lucas right then and there. He wouldn't have gotten away with pelting it with water balloons, but I'm glad the show is not just going for hardcore drama, horror, or anything like that, or realism. That's not the show that we all signed on for from the beginning. It's always been lighthearted. It doesn't need to be realistic. There are real stakes, and there have been really emotional deaths. And I'm sure this season there will be probably the most emotional deaths that we've ever gotten before the thing is over. But for now, I'm glad that they find places to keep the whimsy in the show, and that's a big reason why a lot of us fell in love with the show in the first place. So keeping that intact, even with these higher stakes and more intense action, it's important that the spirit of the show remains, at its heart, what it's always been. Is it the same caliber as it was in season 1? No. I mean, to be honest, most fans don't think that any season has equaled the genius of season 1, the perfection of season 1. But I personally love every season, regardless, even if they're not all equal in quality. And maybe they've never quite reached the level of season 1 again, but I think it's been a great ride all along, regardless. And, like, shots like this are just so funny too. You've got the Demogorgon feet about to step across the tripwire, just like one of the burglars in Home Alone. This board full of nails hits it. And he proceeds to, like, fall through this big hole they cut in the floor. Land in a pit of barbed wire. Nancy starts shooting at it. They throw like, I guess, a flamethrower at it. And this shot, I was so glad I got this screenshot right here, where the thing looks over his shoulder, like, with, like, what the hell is happening? He looks over his shoulder as he's on fire and covered in barbed wire. Like, what the fuck is this? This is not what I signed on for. This is not what I was expecting. yeah, the whole thing was almost like a slapstick routine. And then he just bursts into gigantic flames, and leaps back up through the hole as Nancy's taking too long to shoot at him. Mike is just like hacking at him with his axe, and he disappears into another portal back into the Upside Down, just like that. Now they successfully managed to shoot their little what do you call it? I forget what it's called now, but the little device, the little tracking device, into it. So now they can track the thing just like they tracked Hopper in the Upside Down. And Steve and Dustin get ready to follow it in the van. And they all enact their plan from there. But there's a fly in the ointment because Derek wakes up. Apparently he wasn't drugged enough. Maybe he's got a few too many pounds and the drugs didn't hit him hard enough. I don't know. But
did you just call that kid fat?
well, I mean, look at him. He is pretty hefty, let's be real. So yeah, I mean, look at him. He, the whole family, he's the only one who just woke up from that drug-induced stupor. And he's yelling, so now that's a problem. They're going to have to deal with him. And Will realizes that Vecna has seen, because Derek has woken up, Will realizes that Vecna has now seen through Derek's eyes and he'll know where they are. This is what they were trying to avoid. They didn't want Derek to wake up and see them or see the location where they are. So now they're fucked. And so that's a complication that they did not want. Now, back in Vecna's dream state in his head, Holly is following the map and a compass that was left in the mailbox, like a little fairy tale character through the woods. And except I don't remember any scorpions in fairy tales I've heard of. That was creepy. Then she reaches this gigantic rock wall. And it's at that point where it's like, okay, I think I know what the hell this thing is supposed to represent. This wall seems to be like Henry's dream fake version of the gigantic flesh wall in the Upside Down. It's enormous. It looks like about the same size as the flesh wall. And so it's almost like this beautiful place is modeled after the Upside Down, except, it's changed to look like the normal world, and it's changed to make it look beautiful, but it's really just an illusion inside Vecna's head where Holly's consciousness is trapped. And I think this rock wall seems to maybe represent the flesh wall part of the Upside Down. Just a hunch and that's just what it feels like for me. That's what it seems like. I mean, yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around exactly, but this is some kind of weird dream state in Vecna's head. And yeah, maybe parts of it kind of mirror elements of the Upside Down, but they're distorted to look normal for the benefit of Holly and whoever else he traps in there. As she approaches, she calls out to whoever might be there waiting for her. She thinks it's supposed to be Henry, who supposedly wrote the note. Then she gets startled and runs off, and hides. But then, of course, we have the dramatic reveal of who actually wanted to meet with her and left her that note. It was not Henry. It was none other than Max, who's been in a coma all this time and her consciousness trapped inside of Vecna's head. What a wild ending to the episode, and a gorgeous shot too. Absolutely stunning. The way the sun is hitting her hair like that. So beautiful. And she just says hi, then roll credits. Again, Netflix, gotta hand it to you. What a way to make everyone want to immediately press play on the next episode. Ending it right at such a climactic moment like that, as always. That was really wild. I was not expecting it to be Max. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't think it was going to be Max. But there she is. So now we see this is where her consciousness has been all this time while her body is laying in that hospital bed. Her mind, her consciousness has been trapped here in this weird dream realm inside of Vecna's head. And Holly is there too. Where is Holly's body, though? Holly's body's got to be in the upside down somewhere, of course. Probably somewhere behind that giant, nasty flesh wall. So Holly is in a lot more danger than Max because her physical body is in harm's way. Whereas at least
probably got one of those tentacles like in her mouth or something. Probably.
Whereas Max is at least in a safe place in a hospital. So yeah. This is gonna be a game changer for Max, because up to this point she's been all alone. She's been all alone, and
you don't sell the steak, you sell the sizzle.
So she's been all alone in this dream state inside of Vecna's head up to this point, and now she has Holly there with her. So the two of them can team up and maybe have a shot at doing something. Turning this situation against Vecna in some way. The fact that they're inside of his head. But I think that is a record for fastest I've ever gotten through a breakdown of an episode using my images. That's I'm at the hour and 27-minute mark. That's wow. I can't believe it. How did I do that? I've never been able to.
Down, homie.
Usually it takes
powered through.
Usually takes more like 3 hours to get through the whole.
You weren't stopping for no red lights.
Yeah, definitely.
No sleep till Brooklyn. You know
what I mean? Yeah. So, let's check in with the chat here. Let's see. Where did I leave off in the chat? Where did I leave off? Gotta scroll up a bit. A bunch of people showed up that I didn't even see. Wow, let me see. I was just powering through this breakdown so fast. I got kind of in a flow, and I just kept on going with it. Let's see. So, here's where we left off. Okay. Bill Chill, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Yeah, that's an old classic. Wasn't that on a commercial? Like a PSA?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think
probably McGruff, the crime dog, said something about it.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Justin, hey, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Justin said, that's good. Less sentimental talk BS. Leave that for every episode of Pluribus up until the last 5 or 10 minutes. Whoops, sorry, I'm not here. Tell us how you really feel, Justin. Not feeling Pluribus that much. I mean, I know like it's not for everybody how slow that goes, how much of a slow burn Pluribus is, and I know Justin. I think Justin is more into faster paced action and a show like Stranger Things is it's much more fast paced and Fallout too. Fallout is another one which we're going to be covering. Don't ask me when we're going to be able to do the first live because right now we're playing catch up with Stranger Things and we still have to do a Pluribus live for episode 8. So we can't do a Fallout live just yet, but we're going to be covering that show too. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I don't need too much sentimental talk either. Since it's the final season, I like to have a little bit, just to bring this whole thing full circle and remind us of what these characters mean to each other and how far they've come together, and the growth that they've shown. These characters have grown so much over the last few seasons, and literally and figuratively, physically and emotionally. If anything, they've grown too much, too fast. Like they need to slow down the growth, if anything, because these kids look like they all have mortgages now. But it's anyway. I like some sentimental talk, but I'm with you, Justin, where I don't want it to get out of hand. I don't want too much sappiness. We need to keep the action going, especially when they're in such dangerous situations, and it's just not logical to stop and have a heart-to-heart in the middle of a freaking war zone, an upside-down war zone. Hey there, Amy. Nice to see you. She said, "What? This is live?" Yes, it is. It's great to see you. And I hope you are doing well tonight. Let's see. Of course, Dieter had to chime in, hearing me say the phrase "booby traps" but multiple times. But that's what they are. I'm sure you've heard the term before. No, English isn't your first language, but we know you know what a booby trap is, and it's not the anatomical term that is. But I don't know. Is there any other word for it? Is there any other phrase? Like, what is there some kind of other phrase for booby trap? I don't know of one.
Yeah, I don't know, but I will say this: boobies have trapped me before.
You and probably every other man on Earth. So, yeah, like Doc said, say the B word and Dieter appears. Yes. Dirty Dieter was summoned. So, let's see. What else was here while I was rambling away? Dieter said, "Take care of yourself and people around you." Bye. Yes. Okay. We will all take that to heart and do that. Indeed. And let's see. How many likes are we up to now? Is it
23?
23 likes. Awesome. Please hit the like button. If for some reason you've forgotten to do so, please hit the like and help people find the stream. Bill Chill said, "Action scene, explosion, stab, kick, run, wham, boom, pow." Yeah, that's pretty much the formula here. And this show really does an amazing job with action scenes. It's got those Netflix bucks, so they go all out. This thing must cost a fortune to produce. I can only imagine. I don't know what their budget is, but I'm sure it's ginormous. And Amy says, "Sorry, I'm late for this." Don't be sorry. We're glad you're here. It is going to be a much shorter live than usual, but there's always the replay, and there are going to be more where this came from, because I've got a lot of catch up to do before the next batch of new episodes of everything come out this week. So like we've got to cover. So after this, we still have to cover chapter 4, as in episode 4 of Stranger Things. So we'll do a live for that. And we need to, of course, do a live for Pluribus episode 8. And so we've got to do those within the next few days before Christmas. Because when Christmas comes, we're going to have a brand new episode of Pluribus, the finale of Pluribus, and a whopping 3 episodes of Stranger Things dropping on Christmas. So it's pretty chaotic right now. So expect to see more lives popping up. Now they're not going to be as long as usual, but I definitely want to get this, cover these amazing shows while we have the chance, before the new episodes are released. There's just too much good TV out right now. What can we do? There's also Fallout, but I don't see us being able to cover Fallout before the next episode drops. Episode 2 of Fallout comes out on Wednesday, I believe, and I don't think we're going to be able to do it, to do a live before then. So what we'll probably end up doing is sometime after that drops, within the next week and a half or so, we'll do a live discussing episodes 1 and 2 of Fallout at once, and make it less of a really crazy deep dive, and do it that way, just because there's too much to cover right now, and juggling that plus my really flared up pain condition right now, it's just a lot. It's a lot. All these shows just had to drop at once. Damn, it's too much. Wish they would space this out a bit more. Amy was on someone's live on camera. Very cool, Amy. Very cool. Congrats. Hope you had fun. And good for you. That's very brave. It's scary to be on camera on a live. When you're not used to it, it's not easy. So good for you. And which live were you on, actually? I'm curious. Whose live was it, Amy? Justin said, "Hey, Julie in Ponda Kalima. Good to see you. Happy Saturday to you both. Sucks that some people don't see any of them as good as season 1. I feel I liked it. However, it's slow on rewatch." Yeah, I don't know why people are so hard on this show. I don't. Some people say, like, only season 1 was good, basically, and every other season has just been whatever. I disagree. I think that if I had to rank them, season 1 is the strongest. But I've loved every season. I really have. I'm a huge fan of the show. I think it's one of the best current shows on TV, easily, and it's unique. I've never seen anything else like it. It's a cultural phenomenon, for God's sake. If I had to rank the seasons, I would say season 1 is the strongest, followed by, at the moment, it's kind of hard to rank because season 5 is, not finished. But if I had to rank it now, season 1, I think, is the best, followed by season 4, which I thought was, it's really stellar, absolutely stellar. The emergence of Vecna and all. And then number 3, I'd say season 3. Season 3, I absolutely loved. I loved how funny that season was. I thought that was the most humorous of all of them. And then I'd say season 5 would be my number 4 best season thus far, just because it's incomplete. Who knows? That could move up. I could change my mind later. And then I think the weakest season was season 2, in my opinion. But even at its weakest moments, this show is so much better than almost any other show on TV, if you ask me. So, saying that season 2 is the weakest doesn't mean it's weak. It's just by comparison to the others, for me anyway. I think people are just way too harsh on this series for some reason, and I don't know. I don't really get it, but it can be a bit slow on rewatch, though. I do agree on that. Once you know what happens, everything, it's not quite as gripping. Nothing is once you've seen it already. I will say though, rewatching it helps a lot in understanding what's going on. This show is so chaotic, complicated. There's so many characters and plot developments. It's like it's a lot to wrap your head around when you're watching it just once. I think it's a show that really needs to be rewatched to really absorb what the hell you just watched. What the hell is happening? Especially when they take years to release a new season, then you forget so much you have to rewatch. Anyway, Amy said trying to get comfortable with it before going live. It definitely takes time and practice getting comfortable being on camera on a live. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for me. I was very self-conscious when I first started doing it, and I swore I would never do it in the first place, but eventually I did. It only took me a few months, and I started going on camera, and it got easier and easier with time, like anything else. You'll get less self-conscious and more relaxed the more you do it. So
now Julie's an all-star.
yeah, I mean, I'm hardly that, but you'll get there, Amy. You'll get there, and I salute your bravery. I know how hard it is. But you can do it. You can do it. Just give yourself time and practice, and people in our community and the kind of people who are going to follow your channel, I know they're going to be kind people and people you don't have to be afraid to get up in front of and talk. Anyway, so Doc said Derek has become one of my favorite characters. He and Erica are a lot of fun. Yeah, Derek, I found Derek in episode 4 of this season. We got to see more of Derek's personality come out, and I can see why you're saying that. He was surprisingly colorful and kind of quirky in episode 4, which we haven't covered yet, but I don't think that's spoiling much by saying that. I'm still not really a fan of the character personally. I don't really like Derek, but yeah, I did like him more in episode 4. I'll say that I did like him more than previously, because he starts out just a little asshole bully. So who would like that? And Erica, I loved Erica before, but I gotta say I don't like what they're doing with her character now, to be honest. Erica, when she was first introduced, was a precocious, funny, sarcastic little kid, the little bratty sister of Lucas, and really smart. I absolutely loved her in season 3 when she teamed up with Dustin and Steve and Robin to sneak into the mall where the evil Russians were. She was awesome. She was so funny. But now I feel like they've made her bitchy. They've made her bitchy this season, and I don't like her anymore. I think they've turned up the sarcasm and the snarkiness way too much. So I was not feeling her. Not feeling that portrayal of Erica this season so far. Let's see. What is this? Oh, Amy, that sounds scary. She says my daughter went to get me a Dr. Pepper in the gas station, and these dudes stared at her, and she felt like something were up to no good, like walked into something she shouldn't have. She walked in and they just kept staring at her. She got home and threw up because of the stress. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's really unsettling, and I hope she's okay, and I'm sure you can comfort her and make her feel safe and secure again. That's scary. There are a lot of creeps and predators out there, so uh, I'm glad she's okay. Glad that she's okay and that she's safe. That's the important thing. Um, Doc says, I think Steve and Robin are my favorite characters, and Dustin. Okay, well, I was just talking about before this live, like who my favorite characters are. I was thinking a lot about it, and I think for me, Hopper is my favorite. He always has been, followed by Joyce. She's just so quirky and weird. Um, and Hopper is such a badass and so funny. I love him. I love the way he protects and adores Eleven as a daughter. But then Steve would definitely be my third on my list of favorites. I always loved Steve. I have Team Steve all the way. Dustin is another favorite for me too. I've always liked him. I think he's kind of a downer this season. Ever since Eddie died, Dustin is not so fun anymore. He's always miserable, and that's really a shame to see, because what made Dustin so fun and enjoyable to watch was, how lighthearted and playful he was, and now there's this heaviness about him. So it's a real shame.
Dustin is busting.
And I liked Robin a lot in season 3 when she was first introduced, working with Steve at the ice cream shop. I like her sarcasm and the way she and Steve play off of each other. This season, I'm not as into her as I was, but I still like her. I really do like her sense of humor and her quirkiness. Justin said yes, he is in SoCal, inching closer to your old stomping grounds and the Jolo cars.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, Justin. Oh, I'm jealous. That sounds like a really nice place right about now, as we're freezing to death here in rural Iowa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like 80 degrees over there right now.
Wow. Yeah, I got to get out there and visit it. I've never been west of this. This is the furthest west I've ever been. Justin, laughing my ass off, got one of those tentacles in her mouth or something. Love that delivery, he said, about what your line, Karl. Let's see here.
A little piece of the breast.
Oh, Justin said, yeah, Fallout is
pretty good, huh?
Is great. Still have to catch up. Pluribus hopefully can stick the landing. I think so. I think Pluribus is killing it right now, and it's the #1 show on Apple TV, and I think they're gonna definitely stick the landing and get renewed for another season for sure. Fallout, I liked the season premiere. I won't spoil anything. I'm not gonna say any details about it, but I liked the season premiere of Fallout so far, and I'm not jumping out of my chair with enthusiasm about it. Like I'm not as into Fallout as I am with other shows, but that being said, it's definitely a fun show. I think it's going to be a really enjoyable show to cover on the channel, so I'm looking forward to making time in the schedule for that when we can. I don't love it as much as, say, anywhere near as much as, say, From or Severance, Stranger Things, Pluribus. I wouldn't put Fallout in that category, but it's an excellent show. It's an excellent show for sure. It's way the hell better than The Institute, which I had high hopes for when we covered it, but man, was that a letdown. Trace said, Amy, Justin, Julie, Karl, hope that you guys are having an amazing weekend. Well, thank you so much. I hope you're having an amazing weekend too, Trace. Let's see. Justin said, we can tell who does the stabbing. For some reason, they say women are obsessed with stabbing. Oh, geez. I've never heard that. Interesting. Let's see. Amy says, not me. I don't care for the violence. I like horror for the psychological horror of it. Yeah, me too. I don't like a lot of violence in TV and movies. I'm the same. I prefer psychological horror. And when there's violence involved, I tolerate it if there's enough psychological horror with it. It's got to make you think. There's got to be maybe a cool whodunit slasher thing. I like that kind of stuff. But too much gore is not my thing. And like Doc says, check out Pixie Vine TV for awesome music. And there is Amy's channel link for Pixie Vine TV right there. And she does gaming lives. Let's see. Justin said, oh, that's great to hear your order of the seasons. Yeah, that's how it stands right now. And as season 5 progresses and we see more of it, then I'll be able to tell whether I think it'll move up higher in my list. Like it could wind up, who knows? Maybe it'll wind up being my second favorite season or my number 3. Julie is awesome. Well, thank you, Trace. You're awesome too. You guys are all awesome. What else is here? Amy said, thank you, Julie. Yeah, I'm not letting her back over there. You're welcome. And yeah, good call not letting her go back over to that area. Let's see. Hey there, the turtle sage Will. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Amy said the violence often triggers me. Games too. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's understandable. It can be a trigger for people for sure. Anyway, so, well, I think we pretty much wrapped up the breakdown of season 5, episode 3, or should I say chapter 3, as they call it, of Stranger Things, and we did it in record time too. I think we said all there really is to say about it. I think mainly it was a setup episode for the enormous shocker that we're going to get in the 4th episode. The 4th episode is the truly mind-blowing one. And this one is leading up to it. It's setting up what is to come. And so I'm looking forward to breaking that down. We're going to find a night within the next few nights to do that one so that we're caught up before Christmas with Stranger Things. I'm not sure which night it's going to be yet. So what I'm thinking, thanks, Justin. This has been an awesome stream. Thank you so much. We just did it last minute. I felt physically up to doing it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going for it because I really want to catch up with our Stranger Things coverage. So it was awfully late when we started, but better late than never. And so what we're gonna do, I think this is the tentative plan I have in my head. Monday night, I think we're gonna do our Pluribus live for episode 8. I'm gonna shoot for 10 p.m. Eastern time for that one. Do a live breakdown of that, and then on Tuesday night, hopefully, if all goes well, we should be able to break down the 4th episode of Stranger Things season 5, and then we will be caught up with those 2 shows in time for the new episodes that drop on Christmas. So yeah, that's the plan. And the next Stranger Things live, I'm really hoping we can pull it off earlier, like Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, maybe 11 p.m. Eastern. Whatever I can manage. It may change depending on my pain level and how I'm feeling. But I really do want to knock these 2 lives out, especially the Pluribus one Monday night. So that's the plan. And I'm also working on a Pluribus video that I'm really hoping I can get done within the next few days and get that released with my theories and ideas related to Pluribus leading into the finale. I've got a lot of ideas I'd like to get out before that finale airs this week. So I'm going to do my best to get all that content out there. And then after Christmas, we're going to do some streams breaking down episodes 5, 6, and 7 of Stranger Things. Probably not individual lives because we won't have a lot of time before the series finale on New Year's Eve. So we might do a live on episodes 5 and 6 of Stranger Things, and then one on episode 7. And that'll be next week. And of course, a live on the Pluribus season finale will happen. And at some point, we'll get in a Fallout live whenever we can after Christmas. So maybe episodes 1 and 2 sometime during the week after Christmas. We'll try to squeeze in some sort of live. And then come January, things will calm down quite a bit. With Pluribus and Stranger Things done, we'll be just focusing on Fallout. From Academy Friday will come back weekly, and Storytime with Doug lives when Doug is available, breaking down his second novel, The Shaming of the True. In the meantime, we are talking about trying to have a Storytime live on Doc Kaiju's channel. So that's not set in stone yet, but they've been talking about doing it possibly Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And that's a way to help me out since I'm really overwhelmed right now with all the shows I'm trying to juggle and the amount of pain that I'm in. So yeah, stay tuned on that. We will tag everybody and let everyone know if and when that's happening. And then after the holidays, we'll be able to get the Storytime with Doug lives going on this channel again much more easily. Along with, of course, From Academy, which we've missed, and both of which we've missed. And yeah, so that's the plan. So hey Scarlett, had to nurse the boyfriend and ride a Christmas train. Well, I hope he's doing all right. She said, I really liked this episode. I thought it was funny and a return to form, like first season form. Yeah, I thought it was funny too. I really liked how zany and Home Alone like it was. Justin said, will there be any watch parties for volume 2? Yes, we will be doing watch parties for episodes 5, 6, and 7. Absolutely. So like, probably next weekend, I think we're going to do watch parties in the Discord. So if anybody wants to watch Stranger Things with us in the Discord, and if you happen to be listening and you're not a member, you can join via the link in the description of this video. That'll be fun. Scarlett said Erica is the best character. I think they kind of ruined her this season. I think they made her too bitchy, but that's me. I liked her before. I liked her when she was just, fun and bratty, but now I think they made her kind of mean and nasty. And thanks, Justin. So yeah, that's the tentative schedule for now. And okay, did I miss anything else?
You need to give Trace a Go Bears. He's a Bears fan.
Oh, go Bears, Trace. I hope they do well. Hope they do well. Scarlett, I'm not sure what you mean. I can't say it because I'm not on StreamYard presently. I typed it though. She was saying, oh, okay. I get it. Okay, she can't literally say it. Well, I'll say go Bears for you, Trace. Trace said, I would love to watch on Discord. Okay, awesome. Well, keep an eye on your Discord notifications, and we will let everybody know when we're going to be streaming Volume 2 of Stranger Things 5. We'll definitely be doing that. No, I don't think we're going to do it like right when it drops, but we'll definitely be streaming it in the Discord. So, and good night, Doc. Good night, Doc. Sleep well. Amy said, I miss hearing the goats. I need my fix. Scarlett said, I will give the goats to sing to you next Pluribus Live. Yes, we can guarantee you goats then. Anyway, so with that, it's the 2-hour mark. I'm going to say good day or good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here and joining us. Really appreciate you guys as always. Shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for listening. Please leave a comment in the comment section, the regular comment section. It helps boost this video in the algorithm and get it out to more people. Also, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed and you're listening on the replay. Trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. We will see you on the next live. Good night, Trace. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing, we're going to have no choice but to do a Pluribus Live Monday night. Because of scheduling issues. So we're probably going to do the Pluribus Live at 10 p.m. Eastern on Monday night. Anyway, we will see you guys on the next one. I hope you're all enjoying your Christmas season and what's left of it anyway. And it's not too stressful for you and enjoying your weekend. And appreciate you guys so much. Say goodnight, Karl.
Good night, Karl.
Have a good day or good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. That's a theory creaking open, baby.
Yo, welcome to the screen where the plot gets bent. Julie B deep dives, not just for content. She don't react, she dissects those threads from the lens. Catching clues y'all missed when the credits end. What you know about freeze framing frames and while you blinking, she building an evidence drum. Got a notebook thicker than the lore itself. In a chat full of nerds with a mental health shelf. Yeah, she sees the glitch, peep the double cross. You just watching TV, she talk to the boss. Every theory and thesis, no throwaway guess. While y'all on season 1, she in season X. Said rewind it slow it, zoom in enhance. Julie B caught the symbol in the window glance. While you tweeting what just happened like a clown, she already made a flow chart, color coded breakdown.
They don't die like us, they don't vibe like us. They binge and they bounce, we revive that trust. They skip intros, we rarely frame. You watch shows, we decode the game. They don't die like us, nah, they don't die like us.
She cracked Severance before y'all knew it was deep. Predicted the Last of Us deaths in her sleep. When the camera pans, she ain't blinking once. Catch a ghost in the glass, call it theory punch. Watch parties lit like apocalypse nights. Call-ins while they bringing alien rights.
Hey, Julie, I think the trees are spies. Well, I have a spreadsheet that confirms that, guys.
Zoom in, boom in, she moving through clues. Spinning Discord in the courtrooms, Lord of views. Got mods with receipts. Timestamps with heat. Every rewatch turns into a Reddit elite. You stuck on the surface, we beneath with maps. Cross-referencing lore with the rectus caps. If your fave show got secrets, don't be dumb. Julie got the chalkboard out in Frums where it's from.
They don't dive like us, they don't vibe like us. They skim the edge, we inside that crust. They zone out, we zone in the pain. You say plot twist, we say nope, chain. They don't dive like us, nah, they don't dive like us.
What's that?
That ain't a blooper, that's a plot thread. You thought it was a shadow? She thought it was a coded message from season 3. And she's probably right. Step this way if your mind's unbent. Step that way if your theories pay rent. Say Julie B, deep dive queen. Now zoom, scroll, theorize, pull. Ain't no rabbit hole safe once she got the clout.
They don't